Hi, this is Ed from Startrack Videos, and I put together this presentation for all of you guys out there who've been wanting to have a recording room of your own, and you like to do some recording and put it out on YouTube or some other place, but not known how to go about making a recording room of your own. You may be a singer, you may be a musician, you may be a teacher, a speaker of any kind, or you just want to put some of your ideas out on blogs. So you need a decent recording environment. And that's why I put together one myself in my home. And that's why I want to show you some ideas on how I did it. Now, you'll get a lot of tutorials on YouTube that are very useful and educational, but the problem is that the materials that they recommend and show you are not available in not so developed countries. I myself come here from India, and we don't get the kind of acoustic materials that they recommend. So that's why I put together this, so to show you how you can get pretty good recordings in a relatively cheap and simple way. It's cost effective. It's a do-it-yourself project, which I did myself, and I can show you how I did it. I started off in my first recordings. I used to have a little cardboard carton, and I'd lined it with a sort of simple foam like this, and it worked pretty well. Later on, I moved on to recording inside my clothes closet. So your clothes closet, your clothes cupboard, so to speak, is also a pretty good place where you can record from. You get nice effects from there. So here goes. First of all, what are the things that go into the preparing of a recording room? You will have to look at possibly your mics, your equipment, your video stuff, your lighting, the padding on your rooms. All of this stuff is what you have to consider. In this presentation, I just want to show you the padding that you put on your room, on the insides of your room, so that you get a nice sound effect, as you're probably listening to this presentation, which has been made in the very room I'm going to show you. First of all, a few principles. What you want here is you want to eliminate external sounds. Now, especially for those of us who live in crowded environment, it's difficult. You don't get a nice silent time where you can record. There's some child or the other crying outside, there's a dog barking, or a vendor who is shouting out something on the roads, or a bus honking, whatever. And so you want to reduce that. So the best way to do that is simply choose a room or choose a place which is as far away from the noise source or the interference source. The second way in which you can do that is also by choosing your time. That means try to record late at night. Try to record early in the morning when everybody is asleep. The next thing is that after eliminating external noises, what you want to do is pad your room so that echoes from within the room, don't enter the mic. The voice from your mouth getting straight to the mic and no other echoes. That is when you get the best sound. So the way to do that is to reduce any possible echoes within the room. Whenever you're talking, the sounds from your mouth are going into the mic, but also some sound is hitting the wall and then coming back a small amount of time later and entering the mic as well. So with the result, you get echoes. You want to reduce that. Let's take a look at the room I have prepared as I went through the process, so you can see how I did it. If you can't make it yourself, then you can get a carpenter, or you can get somebody to help. Okay, so let's take a look. All right, here is the little room that I have, which I'm going to use as my recording room. The room itself has dimensions of approximately 6 feet width by 6 feet height and approximately 6 feet in depth. And as you can see, it's basically a small storeroom, right, like a pantry. And what I'm going to do first is to line the walls with plywood. So you can see the walls already have the plywood on. And what I used was just ordinary plywood, not even waterproof plywood, because it's inside and I don't intend it to get wet. So 9mm plywood is nice. You get them in sheets of 6x4 or 6x3 feet, and you can buy sheets of it, cut it, and screw it onto the walls. As you can see, I've done it here. That 3-4 sides. Now you'll also notice that I have put slotted angle on the top. All of these materials are easily available in hardware stores. You can get slotted angles. Why have I put the slotted angles right on top? Because I want to put another plywood sheet on top, so that I will have plywood on at least 4 sides. That's sides, front, back, and top. Okay, and you can see the wiring, which I've done as well. What I did was to tap the wiring out of an 3-pin point there, which I have. You can see the red and yellow wires, and from there I'm going to take connections and wire all my lights. This is, of course, for those of you who want to do video as well. If you need proper lighting. I will talk about lighting maybe in another presentation, but for right now, at least about 8 lights, 8 different switches I've connected. That's 2 for the key light, 2 for the side light, and 2 for the back. I'll show you some of that again. So this is, you can get a simple switch box made like this. I made it for about 150 rupees and wired it myself. Here you can see the plywood which I put. This is the back. This is the back part of the room. There are 2 entrances to this room, very small room, basically a passage really. And I will shut these doors when I'm doing my recording. Then you can you will notice the blue piping which I put there, which will have the bulb holders on it. Now I had to creatively design these things myself, because you don't get very good lighting which can be swung around and stuff. This is the top of the room, which also has a plywood sheet on. And the pipes, the water pipes, these are just nothing but blue plastic water pipes, 3/4 inch and 1 inch. You can see I'm able to swing it around, so I can adjust the light just the way I like it. You see, I can turn it around, swing it around to get the exact lighting, because I'm new to video, and so I'm not too sure exactly where to put the lights and how much power light to use. See that? It swings nicely. Now this is the backlighting, which will light up my back screen, and we'll talk about that at some other time. But you can see it's a simple system using clamps and pipes, which any plumber uses to pipe water, but I'm using it here for a recording system. Mounted the bulb holders right on. Okay, there's my switch box in position, and you can see 8 sets of wires coming out of the switch box, which will go to the various lights. So I can control my lighting just the way I want. Now we move to the foam padding. I've used foam on top of that. I could have stuck this foam. This is nothing. This is just like 12mm half-inch foam, which you get in any mattress shop. You get in any upholstery shop. Okay, and I've stuck it onto the plywood. I've used just ordinary Fevicol and stuck it on. And because it wasn't holding until it dried, I used these tacks. I used these little nails on. But once the glue dries up, the foam stays on nice and clean. There you can see my lights are on now. I've got a light on one of the things, and I'll talk more about the lights a little in a moment. This is the front now. This is the place where I actually sit and look into my whatever laptop or my resource material which I'm going to be reading. I place it right on the front there, right before me, just at the back of the camera. Okay, so I have this piece of foam which I've cut out, and it gives me a little extra depth, and I can push my laptop right into that and read from that or record from that or whatever, drive my software. Okay. I have also applied a foam on the top sheet, so I'm getting a very, very nice sound response. I have not covered the entire room. As you can see, there are little gaps here and there, and a little echo would be nice actually, but it should be very, very minimal, not too much. Now look at these lights. These are the bulbs I'm using. I'm using LED bulbs. They are a little expensive, and even more expensive than the CFL lights which we get nowadays, but they give you a nice soft light, and they are easy to look after. They have a long life. This here, which you see, is basically an arrangement which I prepared for the backlight. For shooting video, I have this arrangement where I have like 6 lights mounted on a pipe frame, which I suspend from that earlier T-junction you saw. So these are just some ideas, and I hope they've been useful for you. If you have any questions, any doubts or suggestions, surely get back to me and subscribe to Startrack with Evos. Thanks very much. See you guys.